Hello and welcome to the third video in our series on how to make a website. Now in the last two videos we have been looking at HTML files and how we can use HTML tags to add content to our website and how we can use different HTML tags to make that content look even more interesting by adding lists and line breaks and paragraphs and such. Now today what I'm going to show you is how we can take those tags that we've been using and we can add some things to them to make them look more interesting for our viewers. Now to begin with today we need a website that we can fiddle with to make look more interesting, and what we're going to do is we're just going to create a copy of a website that we made in the last video. So what I want you to do is open up your H drive, navigate to your websites folder, and you'll see your index from the first video and video 2 from our second video. Then I want you to open up Notepad++, the same way we did in the last video. Do a search for Notepad, open Notepad++. And here Notepad++ has opened my video 2 website HTML file because that's what it knows I had opened last. If it doesn't appear and you just get this, all you need to do is come up here, go File, hit Open, navigate to your H drive, into your websites folder, just like this. And we're going to open up our video 2 HTML document, and it's going to look like this. This is the one we made in the last video. Now I don't want to change this file. What I want to do is actually create a copy of it so I don't lose my amazing website that we made last video. So I'm going to come up here and go File, I'm going to go Save As, and I'm just going to rename it, and we're going to call it video 3. I'm just going to add .html so the computer knows that this is a website file. Then we're going to hit Save. And you'll notice that here it's changed it to video 3. So that's the website that we're working on. And our video 3 has appeared over in our websites folder. Now if I double click on my video 3, it's going to open up, and this is the website that we were working on last video. It's just a copy of it. Now at the moment it's looking pretty bland. Sure, I have some headings and I have some line breaks and some horizontal lines and some lists, but it's a little bit bland. I think what it needs is some color and some different fonts. So that's what we're going to do today. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to use something called styles. Now styles are just something that we can add to the tags that we already have to make them a little bit more interesting. So up here I have my Mr. O'Neill heading. So heading 1 in my code, it's nice and big, it's nice and bold, but it's still a little bit boring. I really want it to stand out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color. And I'm going to change the color like this. In my code I want to find where it appears. So here I've got Mr. O'Neill. This is where my heading 1 is written down. And it's in an H, in between some H1 tags, so it's a heading 1. It's already pretty big and bold, but let's make it a bit better. After the H1 in your opening tag, not your closing tag, your opening tag, I want you to write space, and I want you to write styles. Now, the word style followed by an equal sign, and then I want you to put 2 quotation marks, just like I have here. This style tells that that H1 tag needs to be a little bit more interesting, and whatever we write between those 2 quotation marks is how my title is going to change. So I want to change the color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write color, and I need to spell it like an American because HTML was invented by Americans. Colon. Now colon, you need to hold down Shift and press the key just to the right of the L key. And I'm going to make mine blue. And I can just write color, colon, blue. And then if I come up here and hit save and refresh, my title is going to change to blue. So what I've done here is I've created a style for my heading. My H1 gets a style that changes its color to blue. Now styles don't just change colors, they can do all kinds of things. I have another title down here. Now it's pretty boring as well. So let's spruce that up just a little bit. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to make it really, really, really big. So I'm going to find where my other heading is written down in my code. Here it is. Who is Mr. O'Neill? And it's between two H2 tags this time, so not quite as big as H1 tags. But I'm going to change it and make it a little bit bigger using a style. So just as I did before, in the opening tag, not the closing tag, in the opening tag, after my H2, I'm going to go space, style equals 2 quotation marks. And in between those quotation marks, to make it bigger, I want to change the size of my font. So what I'm going to write is font dash size, and again I'm going to put that colon in because I'm changing the font size, and I'm going to change it to 200%. That means it's going to be twice as big as it is now. So I have my style, I have my quotation marks, and I have my font size, and I want to change it to 200%. Looks pretty good to me. I'm going to come up here, hit File, Save, and I'm going to refresh. And what you'll notice is that my font got twice as big. Now I could change that 200% to 50%. Now what that's going to do is make my font really, really small, because I've made it half the size now, 50% of the size. I could make it 500% and make it really, really big. It's up to you to have a play with these and see what size font is going to work best for which text. Now I thought maybe something in the middle, 150% is going to look pretty good. Perfect. I think that looks quite alright just there. Now, something I've noticed is that my whole web page, it's very black and white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a bit of color. And this time, instead of changing the color of the text, I'm going to try and change the color of the background. Now I want to change the entire web page. And if you remember, back in the first video, I told you that everything we can see on our web page, it goes inside our body tag. So if I give my body tag its own style, it's going to affect every single thing that we can see. So just like we have in the other two examples, I'm going to go in the opening body tag, space, style equals 2 quotation marks. And inside here, I'm going to write background dash color colon, and I might change my background to pink. So I think that'll work really well with my blue heading. So style equals, and then background color pink. And I'm going to come up here, hit File, click Save, and refresh. And ta-da, my background has turned pink. Now, I've got a pink background, I've got a blue heading, I've got a bigger heading. This font here, it's still looking a bit drab, a bit boring. So let's make it a little bit more interesting. This here is the section here in my code. So I'm going to scroll down, and this is all in this paragraph here. Now this paragraph, although it has a couple of line breaks, it's still looking a bit boring. So I'm going to give this paragraph its own style. So just as we have before, in the opening p tag, space, style equals 2 colons, and inside those colons, I might change the font of this paragraph. So I'm going to go font dash family, and you'll notice that Notepad++ is actually suggesting some things that I can do. And I can actually just double click that and it'll fill it in for me. Font family, colon, and I'm going to change this to Verdana, which is just a font that our browser recognizes. So now that I have my style equals, and changing my font family to Verdana, if I come up here and hit Save, come back over here and hit Refresh, you'll notice that my font changed. It's looking a little bit more modern now, but it only changed this paragraph because these are different paragraphs. So I'll give this one another style to make this one look a little bit more interesting. Colon, and I'm going to make this one Courier. File, save, refresh. Excellent, and it's changed that one. Now my list could also get its own style. Font family, and I'll make this one Courier as well. File, save. So now I have lots of different size fonts, lots of different types of fonts, some colors, some font colors, and I have some backgrounds. So there are 4 different styles that you can use to make your website look a little bit more exciting. Have a play with making your website as exciting as you can using those styles. You might want to do some research and discover some other styles, because there are lots out there. There's lots of different styles that you can use to make your tags a little bit more interesting, to make your website a little bit more interesting for your readers or your viewers to look at. Alright, good luck, have fun, and as always, if you need help, just ask for it.